I usually give the weather forecast, but I will forego that this morning because the county judge of Bowie County and I have many things to talk about this morning, yet they revolve around only one subject. This is a subject that we've been talking about for quite a while now, it seems like, and I think the citizens of Bowie County have grown tired of talking about it, but it continues to keep coming up, and that is the issue of the county clerk. Yesterday, the Commissioners Court voted 5-0 to approve a new clerk. Talk about the process. Exactly how did we arrive at this one individual to become the new county clerk?
We're not going to talk about that beautiful sunrise this morning, Jeff.
I wish it is beautiful.
I think the key thing is that we decided we weren't going to select somebody who planned on running for the office. We felt that incumbency would simply be us selecting for the public who their next county clerk was going to be. And so that narrowed it down to people who had never said anything about running for the office. And so
can you tell me how many candidates were in the final running for the position?
Well, I did mention that to the media yesterday, and it was just two. It was Elisa Henderson and Denise Thornburg.
Okay. And so the commissioners decided to select the one that had not been in the office for a period of time, can you give us any insight into why the commissioners would want someone who had not been in the office under all the changes that had taken place in that office over the last year?
No, I can't tell you what their thinking is at all.
I didn't know if you were privy to any kind of discussions or anything. Were there other applicants for this position?
No, we only had 2 resumes yesterday.
That was it? Okay. Because, again, I'm asking questions not just for my own sake, but also from people that have been contacting me via Facebook and things of that nature because this is a process that not many people understand because county government was not paid attention to for the longest period of time. And so this is relatively new for a lot of folks. And so I think it's important to take it step by step and dissect what's going on here. The process was that when you have a vacancy like that, the county commissioners are the ones to appoint somebody for the position only up until the next general election, correct?
Actually, very technically, it will be the day we canvass the November election.
Okay.
And whomever the people select in November, then when we canvass the election, that very day, that person can be sworn in if they want to take office that quickly.
Sure. Now, that leads me to another question. Did anyone ever talk about not making changes inside the county clerk's office? Because once she got in office, she was sworn in for less than 2 hours and fired 3 people within the office.
No, there was no prepping, like what are you going to do when you get into office. People may not realize, but each of these elected officials, or in this case somebody appointed to fill an elected position, they are independent. They are virtually autonomous. And the thing is, they don't answer to the county judge, and they don't answer to the commissioner's court. The most contact we have with them directly, as far as any control is, we set their budget.
Yeah. Were you surprised by the move of her coming in and virtually cleaning house? Because what it does for me is, let's let political parties aside for a moment, although it's tough for me to do that in this case because of the ties. But here you have someone walking into the office who doesn't know squat about the office under the new changes. Then she fires people who have a clue about the office and brings in new people. That just doesn't make a lot of sense from a taxpayer standpoint.
And you asked if I was surprised. And I can only speak for me, but sure. I was surprised.
Because it would seem to me that would have been one of the vetting questions. You know, do you plan on making any changes within that office right there? Because, you know, with all the controversy surrounding that office, one would think you'd want it to be a very smooth transition and smooth going forward here, to where it stays out of the paper for the most part.
Well, we were looking for a smooth transition and to stay off the front page of the paper.
Yeah. You know, yesterday I made a speech before the Commissioners Court about the political aspect of this thing. I do find it interesting that the new clerk has ties to the old administration. For you, being part of the new administration, how do you feel about that?
Well, as I said in Commissioner's Court yesterday, 2 words we almost never hear in the courthouse. I've almost never heard them, and that is Republican and Democrat. And I couldn't tell you whether any of our candidates were Republicans or Democrats.
But she was a part of the old administration, though, correct?
So was Elisa Henderson.
Yes, that's what I'm saying here. Is that
both candidates were part of the old administration?
Sure. Was there anything that you know of that would have disqualified Elisa from being the new county clerk that you can talk about? Because again, these are situations that you're limiting what you can talk about because of closed sessions.
We had a very favorable candidate there. And,
okay.
I don't know any negatives that would have kept her from being an excellent county clerk.
Sure. What do you say to those that are saying that, this is just the good old boy system, again, being retreaded here, that because Carlo has ties to all the title companies, this is someone that is one of his lackeys, and the title company is going to move back into the clerk's office? What do you say to all those questions?
Well, again, in the courthouse, we don't look at things that way. We look at getting the job done. And it looked to me like either one of these candidates could get the job done of leading the county clerk's office for 11 months. And once they're appointed and sworn in, they do have an autonomy that none of us can step into and dictate what they're going to do.
Yeah, that is what is interesting about county government, that the way that Texas counties are set up, you're right, that the different offices are set up that way. At the same time, I think that with all the controversy surrounding that particular office, it's going to be very interesting to see how everybody moves forward here, especially with her getting rid of the people that could have made the transition a lot smoother for everybody.
Well, we have my office and her office has the greatest interaction in the courthouse. The 1,000 guardianship, probate, and mental health cases that I handled and made decisions on last year, there were 10,000 actions taken by the clerk's office to have those files ready for me. And that's where those files immediately go back after I've made a decision. And there was a great working relationship between my staff and Natalie Nichols' staff, and I hope there's going to be with this new staff.
It is a new staff, and I find it unfortunate because she's only going to be in there for less than 12 electric bills. Go figure. All right, how can folks get a hold of you, by the way?
Oh, my, you're going to ask me to remember the phone number again,
right.
Aren't you? 903-628-6817.
Thank you, sir. Bowie County Judge Sterling Lacy. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Jeff.